Hello, everybody. Let's talk about Hashflow, right? So it's been a little while since I've talked about Hashflow, HFT, and I've actually had a couple of you guys ask me, "Hey, any updates on this?" or "Hey, are you still in it?" Which tells me you must have missed the video, guys. Because in short, I'm not in Hashflow anymore. I'm not in HFT. I sold all of my position of that for a profit when I was de-risking. It was a little bit before the first Trump crash, we'll call it. I wanted to de-risk my portfolio, which essentially for me, what that meant was get rid of some of my micro caps, move them into some of the larger caps because they generally go first anyway, and they're less risky. However, I didn't stop keeping up to date on Hashflow. I still really like it as a micro cap DEX play, and I plan on getting back in. So I'm going to talk today just a little bit about updates of Hashflow, my updated thoughts about it, which, spoiler alert, they haven't changed too much. There's just more information, just data, charts, etc., to look at to talk about with it today. But I'm still a big fan, so let's kind of just jump into it, shall we? So though I'm not in Hashflow right now, I got no skin in the game. I still like it, and it's not talked about too much. I mean, it's a micro cap. I think it's like right on the verge of almost like number 600 in the top 1,000 for crypto. I think it was like 598, 599 when I checked a little while ago. I like having these micro caps studied, researched, so I can go back to them as what I'll keep calling them trickle coins. It's the easiest way to describe it for me, right? Is in when I have one of my hedges, my larger coins, when they go up and they're making profits, yeah, profits again. I'm not going to just take all profits and put it in the bank account. I will do that with some, but the rest I want to trickle into other coins that haven't really popped up yet or hasn't gotten their big part of the run, or micro caps in the same narrative that just hasn't moved up yet. And HFT Hashflow is certainly one of the ones I'm keeping in for me to trickle profits into. Also, ASM, that one I currently hold, Assemble AI Protocol. Supra is one I'm keeping my eye on. I don't know if I'm going to be getting into that one as a trickle coin this year. I'm very likely going to be staking in that one decently during the bear market. That's a whole other story. So, Hashflow HFT, if you're watching this, you've probably heard of it. Well, let me give you a little bit real briefly. It's a third party DEX, decentralized exchange. So it helps out with buying, selling, trading, and bridging through a lot of the larger exchanges. So Hashflow, HFT, it helps move between AVAX, BNB, Polygon, everything on the Ethereum network, essentially. And it, well, it's making money. It's got TV out. We'll get into that when we get into the chart in a little bit. But why invest in a Hashflow? Why do a DEX of Hashflow if you can do Uniswap or Pancake Swap or Trader Joe? And it's because the microcap is so freaking small. There is the potential of a lot more gains from it, and people still do use it, and people invest into it. I'm starting to keep track of how many holders own the coins that I own, and right now we're at 14,832. It's definitely gone down a little bit from when I was in Hashflow previously. Got into it around like the 14-cent marker. It watched it go all the way up to around 32. And then it did come back down. I sold again around 22 cents, I believe. And that's when I got out. I'm certainly keeping an eye on this one. But why do I like it? Other than it's a small microcap decentralized exchange. Well, this is technically its first bull run. It came in at the end of last bull run, kind of came out right at the beginning of a bear market, and you'll see it in the chart when I show it to you guys momentarily. But it's backed by Coinbase. It's financially supported by Coinbase, which is always good news, right? Coinbase and Binance really don't invest into what they think are losers, right? There's certain companies or groups that if they're willing to put their money behind it, it doesn't guarantee anything. But if BlackRock jumps into something, you're going to take a look at it, aren't you? I bet you are. You probably should. Just do your research, no financial advice, right? So let's kind of look at this chart, and I'll go ahead and gladly ramble more on about HFT. So I brought up the of all time chart. So this is what we've seen all time. And if you look at this chart and think, wow, this looks like dirty doo-doo dog shit, I'm not going to horribly disagree. If you're looking for something that's major growth to go. But one, you don't have to see something growing to know that it's going to make you money. Actually, it doesn't even have to be a good product to make money, but that's a whole other story. I don't think that's relative here. But there's been a lot of spikes. But we all know the best time to buy crypto is when everything is down at the lowest possible point, right? It's because then you have the full gains of coming back. I mean, just the fact it was at 30 cents not too long ago. Let's see, it would have been, all right, it was up to 50 cents a year ago from essentially now. We had 30 cents just in December, 4 months ago from now, right? And that was 6x from here, right? So just to go back to the recent high of the last 4 months, right? Plus not quite quarter, third of a year, it's still a 6x. I'm not saying it will get there. I think it will get back up there because it's a DEX. It increases profits when it's being used. And when people buy it, just like every other crypto, it's still a popularity contest. But I do want you guys to realize when you look at charts and you see like, oh, something looks effing awful, is one, make sure it actually is effing awful and not that it just looks like it. So we had a huge from here from $1 and boom, oh my God, went all the way down to 28 cents, had a good ride up and then slow decline. Well, this is where it's released. Almost all coins do that on release because there's pre-sales, there's early investors, they got some of their tokens, there are people who bought first day and then 3 days later realize, oh crap, they just made 10x. Of course they're going to sell. And that's going to cause drops like this. And then you have people who realize, oh, this dropped so far, let's buy it. And that's where you get profits from, everybody. And then, yeah, we were in a bear market. Like it launched right at the end of 2022. Awful time for crypto to get launched. So the fact that it actually had a good boom at the beginning of 2023, that's actually pretty cool. Not many have done that. And then, yeah, we went in bear markets, and then everyone, half the population that's in crypto either doesn't think or doesn't know if this is a bull run or not. And that's why you have all this static sideways action slowly down, like most crypto outside the top 100. And realize again, so this is ranked number 610 by terms of market cap. It's at 28 million, right? So there's going to be some volatility, even if there's a bunch of coins out there, almost 560 million of them. But yeah, I don't need to see a chart. Actually, I will not invest into a chart that you just see going straight up. Because what goes up must come down. You have no idea where the top is. I had a pretty good idea this is getting effing close to the bottom, right? Like if you want to take a gamble on a low cap play, this is probably some of the best time to hop into it. Because again, if it just goes back to where it did 4 months ago, there you go. You just 6x your money. So something like keeping an eye on, especially for coins that actually have active utility. Well, I got to break this down real quick because most coins are memes. But outside of memes, we call them utility coins. Most don't actually have utility aside from like governance, where you can vote for things that they do or don't have to listen to you about, or gas fees. Okay, I mean, that's technically a use, but most don't have a real use or something that's going to occur to make the prices happen. Render is definitely an exception. HBAR is becoming an exception, but most cryptos still go on the hype of the what if. Well, this is a DEX, so it actually does make buy, sell money. And we got a trading volume of 28 million. Great. So the volume 24 hours is actually right there with the market cap. That tells me that things have been relatively steady. All right, let's go ahead and let's bring me back to full. So Hashflow HFT, there's not too much to really update on it because it is a DEX, right? The biggest thing that's going to happen is that there's new partnerships in terms of maybe it starts bridging to Solana or bridging towards another chain, or it partners up with another DEX that has lower gas fees. But we're not really going to see too much news about Hashflow. What does matter is the number of people that hop into it, who is buying, selling, trading on it. That is a big one, right? Do we have staking into it? So these are the kind of things we look for something like DEXs, or I mean, even layer ones, there's a lot more information, right? It's like who's signing up to bring in money, TVL, projects, we're going to do Web 2, Web 3 on this. DEXs don't have that. It's just simply how much use is there going to be. And something I really liked about Hashflow ever from the beginning is it's changed a little bit now in the last 3 months. But I think if we zoomed out and compared, we'd see it. But it tends to follow a line pretty well with Avalanche. And even though HFT is more of an Ethereum token, it runs well with Avalanche. So most of the trading has happened between Avalanche or towards Avalanche. And it tends to go pretty well in line with it. More percentage. So if Avalanche goes up 5%, HFT might go up 10. But then if it goes negative the same way, guys, welcome to microcaps. Right. So if you want a nice little, I guess it's more of a risky play because if you see the chart and that makes you nervous, well, then crypto probably in general isn't for you, let alone this one. But The biggest thing I guess to know about HFT, if you weren't aware, is that they do have monthly dilution. They release coins every month on the 6th or the 7th, about 1.58 to 1.75% of the total supply. And some people think that's awful. I really think that's great because you know when it's coming, you know exactly how much it's coming. And I'm not going to make a video on this whatsoever. But having coin dilution does not actually change the prices, guys. It doesn't at all. You will see a correlation. It's not causation, right? We'll see if there's a large token unlock of any given coin. Usually we see a decrease first and then it comes back up, usually higher than where it was, not always. But that's not because, oh my God, they released coins which diluted, so now each coin is worth less. That's the way money kind of works. It's not the way crypto works, people. But the reason why it happens is that people think that. So it becomes a self prophesizing action, right? Where we're like, oh my God, it's going to go down because there's going to be more coins diluted. So let's sell. And selling does change the price of crypto. So I actually have used this before to time, knowing that people are going to sell, thinking that it's a bad thing to have dilution of crypto. And I usually get in at a pretty good price and you see it come back up really quickly. It's a nice little trick, which I'm not even close to the first person to talk about this on YouTube, but people still don't seem to listen. Works well, makes more money in my pocket when I go ahead and do swing trades that way. So probably the big thing you guys are like, it's okay, well, what is his price prediction? Well, why should I buy this darn thing? You can buy it just if you're trying to make money. That's the why. I still think this is going to get close to hitting the $1.50 marker. I really do. If you think this is a bear market now, we're not in the bull run, I don't know why you're watching YouTube videos, but I still fully think everything's going to come up. And if you've been watching some of my videos, I've been calling this for about since the time I started. I think it's going to happen between the second half of April, slowly start going up in July, and somewhere probably closer to that June marker to begin July is going to be the big top. I could be wrong, but I'm planning on this being right. And I've already gone through, and I'll talk about again of my strategy for if I'm right or if I'm wrong for this reason or that reason. Because guys, I'm still making moves, I'm still making money. I started doing liquidity pools with certain tokens just so that way I can make more tokens without spending more money. Because I'm getting tired of buying the dips too, guys. You're not the only ones. But I mean, if you want to start investing more in micro caps, I do recommend looking at Hashflow. I like this one. I will be back into it by the end of the year if everything goes the way or close to the way I suspected. But let me know in the comments below. Do you like Hashflow? Have you bought it before? Did you swing trade it? Do you not understand the point of DEXs? Let me know your thoughts. I'll communicate back. Okay, guys, I'm going to start doing more of these reviews and, for lack of better terms, repetitious videos because it's what a lot of people like. I even asked you guys, and that was kind of what I got. I'll try to keep going enthusiastic about it. I'm not doing a Hashflow video or ASM video 2 or 3 times a week talking about major updates and there's nothing to talk about. But I will keep the word out there and let you guys know if I'm making any moves on it, how the holders are going. Is the charts doing anything? Is it going against the general market or with the general market? Because that's something that should stand out to you. And I think you should pay attention to the crypto that you own because not everything always follows Bitcoin. It does in general. And everything in general will do that, but it's good to note when it's not so you can figure out why. Because the more why answers and patterns as to why things happen, the more you can get ahead of stuff. Don't follow the herd. The herd will lose. Pretend to be in the herd and go the other effing direction. All right, guys. Fighting crypto out. Talk to you guys again soon.